Hi, my name is Ken Hirsch. I'm the owner and chief engineer of Electrodyne Audio. I'm going to try to give you a brief history of Electrodyne from its origins in the early 60s, late 50s to its resurrection as a complete and operational company in its present day today. Electrodyne started out in the late 50s and early 60s competing head-to-head with companies like Altec Lansing, Longevin, Cinema Engineering, and Western Electric, building tube equipment, amplifiers, equalizers, faders, and various other equipment. They built this equipment the same as all these other companies did so that recording studios, film companies, and audio reinforcement people could take their equipment, plug it together, and create audio systems, as was done for all recording consoles of that era. As the company transitioned from its tube origins in the 50s and 60s, the new owner and chief engineer, Don McLaughlin and John Hall, began to bring their new designs with discrete solid-state electronics and with the revolutionary advent of the integrated circuit. They began to put these ideas together into the idea of a standardized recording console, the first of its type ever built anywhere. Their ideas, along with innovative firsts, defined what would become the modern recording console for the next 30 years. Electrodyne has been associated with quite a number of firsts in the recording industry. Among them, the first company to put together a channel strip that integrated the equalizer, the microphone preamplifier, the channel fader, and the echo send all in one standard channel strip that could be purchased as an individual component or integrated into a completely standardized recording console. They were also known as the first company to build a vertical bar graph meter that could be integrated right above each channel so that you didn't have a huge VU meter separate from the channel. They were also the first to build a standardized recording console that you could walk into their showroom and simply buy off the floor, roll it into your studio, plug it in, and use it immediately that day. Electrodyne parts and Electrodyne standardized consoles have been associated with many, many famous artists and a great many famous studios. Stax Records in Philadelphia, Capitol Records in Los Angeles, the Beach Boys' American Sound, Sun West Recorders. The original consoles at Sound City were all Electrodyne consoles. Artists like Frank Sinatra, the Beach Boys, Neil Young, and many, many others owe their first recordings and their first personal recording consoles to standardized products from Electrodyne. One of the most notable component manufacturers out there, Ed Reichenbach, who later on renamed his company Cinemag, got his true start at manufacturing transformers as a business as the transformer winder for Electrodyne. He eventually bought out all the winding equipment from the Electrodyne transformer shop and started Reichenbach Engineering, which he later renamed Cinemag. Ed Reichenbach's son, Tom Reichenbach, spent a lot of his early years helping his father wind transformers in the early days of Reichenbach Engineering. Tom Reichenbach and his business partner, David Guerin, who also happened to be one of the design engineers at Electrodyne, formed the Cinemag Corporation and carried it to its present time, where David Guerin carries on the tradition of building high-quality recording console and audio gear transformers that are sold the world over. One of the big advantages of having Cinemag at our fingertips is that we can literally walk in the front door of Cinemag and order original Electrodyne transformers from the original manufacturer. This gives us a significant advantage that almost no other manufacturer in the world can say, that we can literally build original Electrodyne components from original Electrodyne parts, thereby making Electrodyne an original. Electrodyne operated in its current modern format from approximately 1967 to about 1975. During this time, it still manufactured hundreds of consoles that put out thousands of hits. Approximately 1975, the doors were closed by these major corporations, and all the documents and all the parts went into storage. Orphan Audio, which was a company I formed in about 1982, began collecting documents and spare parts and restoration equipment for a wide range of major recording consoles and recording equipment at that point in time. Electrodyne was one of the companies that we began pursuing. I discovered the original documents and a large warehouse filled with the original manufacturing parts from the closed Electrodyne factory. At this point, it made sense to get the Electrodyne trademark, the name, and the original quality back out on the market. And that is what happened when we brought out and introduced the Electrodyne 501 preamp and the Electrodyne 511 EQ, based on some of the strongest designs that Electrodyne had built during its over 10 years in business. We are building new products all the time. We have new products that are being introduced as we speak, and products on the design board all the time. When you walk in and pick up an Electrodyne product, I invite you to take it into the studio, beat the hell out of it, enjoy it, experiment with the product, find out what it'll do, and then keep enjoying it for the decades that it will last, because we build the products to last. We build them the way the originals were built, and the originals are still out there and still being used to this very day. Thank you very much. Have a great time.